Welcome back, everyone, to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. So after the last couple of videos, I hope you guys enjoyed my kids having an opportunity to come in. I absolutely loved having the opportunity to bring in both Adam and Kaylee to the videos. Unfortunately, my oldest son doesn't want anything to do with making videos, so he probably is not going to make an appearance, but I was telling my wife after I had an opportunity to get those recorded and saved and finalized and everything, that those were by far the most fun I've had making any videos on this channel. And I'll freely admit that I get very emotional when talking about my kids. I absolutely love it when I have an opportunity to involve them in the channel. This channel was started for them, not for me. I just decided to start making videos in order to sort of fill in the gaps somewhat, because I knew they wouldn't be able to make enough videos to post, maybe even weekly. So I decided to make some videos here and there to try to fill in the gap. And you can see sort of what it's turned into as my kids have stepped back a little bit more than I would have preferred. But having an opportunity to bring them in for a couple of videos, my youngest son, Adam, absolutely loved it. In fact, he was bouncing off the walls for the remainder of the day, could not wait to do more recording. So me and my wife had to sort of contain him for the remainder of the day. He was so excited after having an opportunity of doing that. And Kaylee, same thing, really excited about being able to do that. So family is something that's very important to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. I look forward to bringing them back more in the future, as much as I can, really, because that's really what this channel is all about for me. It's all about family. For those of you who may not know, the name Knee Pit Gaming comes from my youngest son, Adam. That was a saying he had. His knee, the back part of his knee was hurting one day, and he started saying that his knee pit was hurting, and that saying just sort of growed around the house until when we were thinking of names potentially for the channel, that kept coming up over and over, and so here we are with Knee Pit Gaming. So the channel overall is really about family, and I really, really loved the idea of bringing them in, and again, hope that I can do so more in the future. Unfortunately, they're not with me in today's video, where we're going to be running at Mid-Ohio. So we've run a few road course races now, and now we're ready for Mid-Ohio. Now, Mid-Ohio is a different beast altogether. Okay, you've got Watkins Glen that is very fast, a lot of very fast corners, a lot of up-tempo, a lot of high-speed type stuff, very rhythm-oriented. Whereas Mid-Ohio is more on the technical side of things, a lot of slow to medium-speed corners, a lot of shifting gears, a lot of on and off the brakes and the gas, and really having to be very technical and precise about where you place the car on the track. So that could be an issue, because for those of you who've been following my coverage of both NASCAR Heat Evolution last year and NASCAR Heat 2 this year, you know that I am not a big fan of the road courses in these games. And the reason is I just don't like the feel of the cars on them. I absolutely love road courses. I love Watkins Glen. I love Mid-Ohio and all that type of thing. I just don't like the way these cars feel on the road courses, so I don't feel like I can attack and be aggressive. I don't feel like I can do the things I'm used to doing on road courses in any of the other games I've played, from iRacing to Forza to you name it. Any type of game, whether it's a sim or not, I'm able to do certain things with the cars, and I feel like it's more in the tires that I'm missing some things. I know these cars tend to have a lot of roll to them, which is perfectly fine, but the tires don't seem to accommodate that. The feel in the tires just don't match up with what I would prefer. I hope that's just me. I hope you guys are having a blast on them, because at the end of the day, playing these games and all of these different series, it's really all about having fun. Above all else, it's about having fun. So I hope you guys are having tons of fun with the game and on the road courses as well. So we're going to do the absolute best we can here at Mid-Ohio. We've had some great success at Watkins Glen, coming home second in the Xfinity race and then winning the hot seat offer for the Cup car. So we're looking very good so far on the road courses. And I expect Mid-Ohio to be a lot of fun. We're going to have to see what the AI do there. I have no idea about the speed and sort of how they behave. All those things are sort of up in the air for us as we head into Mid-Ohio. So it should be interesting. let's head to the track. All right, before we start the race, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the setup. It's very similar to what I've been using at the other road courses here recently. So not a whole lot to mention here. I will mention that basically this is not about speed. There are some things that I could do to increase the speed here, such as more camber, adjusting the rear springs, track bar, different things like that. But this was more about comfort and trying to take some speed out, because we've had a lot of speed at the road courses traditionally throughout this career mode. So I don't want this car to be too fast, so I've tried to slow it down a little bit while basically just making it as comfortable as I can. One of the things that I have done is increase the brake bias. I felt like so far it's sort of been a little bit too far to the rear. This game, for whatever reason, wants a lot of front brake bias, more than I'm really comfortable running when I look at the numbers. But 75%, I'm going to try that. I think that'll work out better than using around 70 even, or even lower. But we'll see how it goes. Again, the idea here is comfort and not so much of a focus on speed. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, folks, we are green here at Mid-Ohio, and boy, that is an odd place to take the green flag. That is a rough. All right, so already we're having a bit of a log jam here as we go through the first corner. All right, again, the aim here is just trying to keep out of trouble. These guys are basically stomped going through here. Wow. So we're going to try to have as much fun as we can have and hopefully stay out of the way of the AI alone. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. We're tippy-toeing all the way. Oh, Annette got way out of the groove there. Oh my goodness, what is happening?
Easy.
Yikes. Don't want to be on the outside really, because I'm afraid these guys are going to push me wide, and once we get into the grass or into the kitty litter, we're in deep trouble. But right now, the outside is just sort of where we are until I can get down. Woo, look out, guys. It's almost like they forget what to do once they get to these corners. Yikes. All right, so we're up to 15th. Most importantly, we haven't had to go off the track just yet. Ooh, watch out. All right, let's see how these guys break this down. All right, so, oh my goodness, watch out. Wow, this is intense right now. Very intense, way more intense than I want it to be. I'm going to try to make some passes when I can. There's certain opportunities that I'm pretty sure I'm going to have. And if I can put the car in the right positions, I feel like we'll be in good shape. As long as I can sort of get an idea of what they're going to do. On some of these corners, they do not charge them at all, and they leave the door wide open for us. Woo, watch out there, Ty Dillon. Sometimes the best way through the corner is just whatever way they don't take. All right, so somehow we've managed to get ourselves up into the top 10. And let's see if we got time for some more. It's a 10-lap race. We're on lap 3 right now. So we don't have any issues as far as that goes. Whew. Yeah, just very slow through that corner. So this is where you get into the difference between racing and driving. Driving is essentially somebody who's got a lot of speed while they're driving. It's all about, oh, we're going to hit the 7 there. There was no way to keep from it. Somebody who is fast driving is fast when they're out. Oh my goodness. That'll scare you to death when they come across your nose like that. But somebody who's fast driving is fast in qualifying trim. When they're out there on the track by themselves, they don't have to worry about anything but hitting their marks. They're fast by themselves. That's driving speed. But racing is knowing where to put your car when you're around other cars and getting the most speed, making passes, that kind of thing. Somebody who realizes it's about more than lap time when you get in the race. Oh, we got a car off. Okay, good. He stayed over there. All right, so we're tippy-toeing our way up into the top 5. Oh my goodness. Good gracious, folks. I just cannot get used to them stopping mid-corner right there. I really need one time to just take a look at the speed they're running through there and just see how slow they do get. Oh, there we go. Oh, holy cow, he was into my right rear there, I believe. I may not have given him enough room. Okay, we're up to second. And we're not quite halfway through the race. All right, so our teammate Elliott Sadler is in the lead. This is another one of those corners they go through really slow. So I'm going to take whatever route they don't take just to try to give them some room and stay off of them. See if he's going to give me the outside or what will turn into the inside. For the next corner, he does. And outbraking him into this corner is not a problem. All right, so we're out front, which is kind of what I did not want. This is not what I wanted. I wanted more of a struggle to get to the front, if we could get to the front at all. And it's just not turned out that way. So now we're going to see if I can keep it on the track for the remainder of the race and actually bring home that victory. And of course, also, as I take it a little bit too aggressively through there. All right, now where are the AI cars? They should be passing me right now. Keep looking in my mirror, hoping that I'm going to see one of them gaining on me here. But so far, it has not happened. Part of me wants to pull up the leaderboard right now just to see what's happening, but the other part of me says as slow as I'm going right now, and if they're still not catching me, I don't think I want to know how far behind they are or how much time they're losing per lap. So right now this setup is about the best I've had this car feel. Granted, there are things I could do to add more speed, which would probably help the car feel better as well. Things like the camber, adding more camber would definitely help the feel in the corners as the tires would get more grip. You know, just different things like that. But for our purposes, I definitely don't want to do anything like that. I have no idea what a good lap at this track would be, because like I said, I've never actually run the track at full speed trying to get the best laps possible. Ooh, look out. Burn it down, baby, burn it down. And unfortunately, there are no AI cars to hinder me from basically turning this into a test session here at the end, just to see how I can drive the different corners, because I know even if I get off track in the kitty litter like I just did, the chances are the other cars are too far back for it to matter. Ooh. Yeah, this is really painful right now to run these laps at Mid-Ohio, because I know how the car should feel, how I want it to feel, and it just doesn't feel that way. I feel like I'm fighting the car the entire way around. Alright, so far we're surviving, despite my best efforts at pushing the limits of this car right now in some of these corners to see how deep I can drive it in and different things like that. So far I haven't done anything catastrophic. Like I said, these are really the first laps I've turned. I ran a few practice laps and then of course a qualifying lap, which had us starting mid-pack. This is pretty much it, so the good thing though is that I did manage to get the car tight enough that whenever you see me fighting this thing going into corners, it's not the back end that's stepping out on me, it's the front end that's pushing, and that I can deal with. Alright, so we've got 2 more laps until our little test session here is over. So the gearing for the most part at this track feels pretty good. This is the one spot where we're going to run out of gear. You'll notice that we get up over 9,000 here, but since that's really the only spot where it becomes an issue, it's not really that big a deal. Lots of tire squealing. I can definitely be a lot more aggressive with this thing in certain spots and get a lot more speed out of it. Be interesting to see what I could do with this thing if I really put some effort into speed and all that, because like I said, this is a fun place to run. It's a fun racetrack. But it definitely has its technical sections where you have to be on point or you'll be in for a long day. Plenty of traction coming off the corner, that's for sure. I can lay the throttle down easy. All right, there we are with the RPMs. almost overcooked it there. A little loose there. That's only because I pushed it way too hard, just like I did there. All right, so we're on the final lap. And again, I don't want to know how far ahead of the rest of the guys we are right now. Maybe we'll look whenever we get to the end of the race, but right now I do not even want to see. Finish up these last couple of corners, and this will give us our 4th win of the season. Even though it definitely felt more like a test session than anything. All right, so it gives us a speed rating of 102, which is perfectly fine, because I definitely wasn't running blazing laps out there. But how can we finish first with a speed rating of 102 on the highest difficulty in career mode? I just don't understand this. That we should be forced to run extremely fast laps in order to win these races on the hardest difficulty, but yet we're not. Because those were anything but fast laps. All right, so, oh my goodness, look at it. I won't even say it. The margin of victory was huge there. Huge. We'll let it scroll through one more time for the first part. Oh my goodness. Almost 30 seconds. Oh my God. All right, that was bad. That was not good. We're going to try to put that behind us. We're going to take this victory and the points. This will now catapult us up to 3rd in the points behind our 2 teammates, with Justin Allgaier really not that far behind in 5th. And then mysteriously, Eric Jones is receiving points in the Xfinity series for some reason. All right, but here we are. Let's see what we've got shaping up. We have, let's see, Daniel Suarez is also receiving points in the series as well. And maybe some other guys that I haven't noticed. So here on just the top 10 in points, we noticed that 9 of the 10, excluding Cole Custer, have wins. And then let's see what happens if we go down a little bit more. Nope, we can't. All right, so we're going to have to wait and do that once we get back to the main menu. So we'll pick up our trophy, take a few pictures, and then we'll wipe off the confetti and head back to the main menu. Oh, we have momentum. That is not a good thing, because that means our cars are going to have more speed. Whatever that means. Once again, I don't know what that means. When it says 10% or 5% or whatever speed boost we get, what does that mean? Is that more tire grip? Is that more horsepower? Is that less drag? Is it all of the above? I have no idea. All right, but first, let's take a look on the left-hand side of the screen where it says session status and shows a picture of our car. What do we notice? It says 5 races to the playoffs. We're getting down to it now. This is the time where if we're going to be trying to accumulate victories, this would be time to do it, because more victories equals more points and helping our opportunities to make it deeper and deeper into the playoffs. Another thing I want to point out is if you look and see what is our next race, it's at Bristol. So that's going to be a lot of beating and banging. Wow, that is going to be a lot of fun. Let's come out and come back to the schedule, or excuse me, the standings, like I was talking about before. So again, 9 of the 10 drivers in the top 10 have at least a victory. So that's not good for Cole Custer right off the bat. So if we scroll down some more, you can see Daniel Hemrick in 12th, and Jeremy Clements in 14th, Tyler Reddick in 17th. So wow, this just keeps adding up. All right, I think that's going to be all of them. So we've got a lot of drivers. In fact, I believe we've got more drivers at this point in the season with a win than there are playoff spots. So now it's going to start to look really good the higher you are up in the points. For example, Blake Cook in 6th with 1 victory. Daniel Suarez, again, not sure why he's getting points, but we'll see how that works out once we get to the playoffs. If he and Eric Jones are indeed running for a championship. I'm not sure. It appears as though they are, but I don't know. So we'll have to see how all this goes. So this is going to get interesting when we get to the playoffs. I'm thinking at least 1, maybe even 2 cars at this point. And we'll see what happens over the next 5 races. But at this point, 1 to 2 cars, I believe, are going to be left out of the playoffs, even though they have a victory. So that is going to be very interesting to see how this works out. All right, so that's going to do it for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more of our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2.